who has not given up on me. And if you measure things every month and every 2 or 3 months, we do a test of all these. Yes. I am constantly going up. Great. Originally, I only had 3 pounds of grip, which would be as soft. I wouldn't be, you'd barely notice me holding your hand.
Guy had a stroke.
And now I have 3 times. I have 9 pounds of pressure. So it is getting better, but I'm not suddenly going to play the piano or anything. So my finer
play it before you had the stroke.
But don't tell anyone. So the finer motor movements in my foot and in my hand don't work. I can't use a knife and fork. I can't tie my laces. And I can't type on a keyboard like I used to.
But you can drive.
I can drive. I have an automatic harness adapter.
You could do your job as a DJ.
I'm there. I get my head around getting back. Yeah. But my confidence was completely shaken. Oh no, completely. And in fact, I think I probably shied away from the radio end of things completely.
That's completely understandable.
And
because what you do is a lot about confidence, isn't it? You have to sound.
Well, if you don't believe in what you're selling, who else is going to believe you? You know. And that's all radio is about. You sound confident, and people. You have a credibility. It's a soft sell. You're not trying to be, abrupt with people. So that becomes part of your persona, or part of your one of the tools in your toolbox.
Therapeutic to hear about somebody that when I'm worried about my stupid teeth, hear about a guy who's got some serious issues.
Al Dunn, who owns a studio in Dublin called a company in Dublin called Unique Media, and he said, going back to radio, I said, it's not on my radar, I wouldn't have the confidence. And Al said, why don't you do something that you're good at? You've lived it. All you're doing is telling a story, your own story. Why don't you do a podcast about strokes? And I went, something that doesn't sound too bad. I think I could probably do that. And if I live in the studio at home, I could probably do it at home. And he said, no, come in, we'll do it right. Oh, I'll help you. And through his kindness and help, I've got to this.
How many stroke survivors have you interviewed?
I've chatted with over a dozen.
Right, okay.
But on this, to make this project work, 3 males, 3 females, and 3 medical people.
Now, back to what you said earlier on about the modern face of stroke.
Yes.
It's younger.
You have no idea. A stroke to me was something my granny had, or, an older person, 65 plus. And it's a high mileage, getting old kind of a thing.
That's what I thought, too.
I think the oldest person in my group in RD, when I was in RD, was about 58, 60. And the youngest was Aaron. Aaron was 23. Aaron was an MMA fighter, and K1 and all this kind of stuff. And he had a clot in his leg from a blow to the leg, and it got into his heart.
In the interview, one of the interviews I heard you do, and the person, we won't give them a name, you had the chat about what did I do to contribute to this between the two of you. What was it something about my lifestyle that caused this?
Oh, yes.
Why did it happen to me?
Yes, yeah. Well, they do like to get to the root cause of your stroke before they let you out, because is it an underlying thing? Is it a heart issue? Is it a cholesterol issue? With me, it was actually blatantly obvious, but I didn't know about it. I had hypertension. I had very high blood pressure, and I wasn't aware of it.
And would you not go for an annual checkup, or?
I didn't.
No.
I could lie to you and say I did, but I didn't.
High blood pressure.
And it sounds as well that were you under stress?
I didn't feel. With the bandwagon, the bandwagon was busy, but it was fun. It was enjoyable. It wasn't a job. It was a bit of fun. The guys were so fun, and we were all going on well. So
you didn't feel stressed?
No, I didn't feel I was clocking in and clocking out.
Yeah.
But I would have been doing long hours. Yeah. Long hours, 16. And it's my fault.
Let's see what I need to do now, if I could. I can't with the gloves.
It's down to other things.
Yes.
But the show that was released today with Shane, he experienced 2 strokes in 3 months.
Right.
And he was 42 when that happened.
And he says that he's a healthy man.
He thought he was a healthy man. He had a carotid artery, which is an artery running up your neck. A piece of debris broke off.
Right.
and it was circulating in his body. And it caused a stroke.
The reason you've put this podcast together is to offer, I suppose, consolation to other people
High
who've had
blood
strokes,
pressure.
is
I
it?
think
And their families,
There
so they understand it better.
Yes, yeah, there are many common threads with stroke, and I think people will feel certain emotions, whether it's insecurity or having trouble processing or being very isolated. You see, when you're in hospital, it's real hands-on. You know, you're in a hyperacute ward. They're monitoring you every 15, 20 minutes, and which is fantastic. Then you go to a step down, maybe to. I went to Dundalk to learn to walk, and I was there for I think about 2.5 months, and I did learn to walk, and it was still great, and people were very concerned and monitored very well. But when you get home, the phone rings for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. People saying, "How are you doing? Isn't he doing great? He's walking, But then the phone doesn't ring so much. And then you begin to feel very isolated, and I think your confidence disappears very easily. I kind of had trouble. I was stumbling over things at home, and my kitchen became a minefield, and I was scalding myself making tea and just silly things, and I had to rethink everything I was doing. But I was getting very annoyed at myself and getting grumpy, And then I got a phone call from Fiona Connaughton, a clinical nurse specialist in Drogheda, who had looked after me in Drogheda and in Dundalk. And she said, "Look, there's a course coming up in RD. It's a cognitive rehabilitation course. I think it'll be fantastic for you. And why don't you give it a go? It's a 16-week course." And I said, "You know something? I have nothing to lose. I would love to do that." So there was another dozen people at that. And I'd say I was attending that about 2 or 3 weeks with Dr. Niamh Rowe, an amazing...
What were you doing?
We were sitting around a table telling our stories, and Niamh was running through the many phases of stroke and cognitively how it's affecting you. And I have to be honest, I didn't understand what had happened to my brain and the effect it had had on me. Whereas Niamh went into the mechanics, the nuts and bolts of what happens when a stroke happens. And you will feel angry, you will feel isolated, you will get confused, you will get... I had this thing which I didn't realise there was a name on it, called emotional lability. And it is the weirdest sensation I've ever had in my life. And that is, I am very happy, but I'm crying. Or the opposite, I'm talking to you and I'm laughing about something that happened to me, but I'm really upset trying to tell you. And that's emotional lability.
And that's the short whirling of the brain as a result of a stroke.
It is, right. Yes. And it took me a while. Niamh was telling me, look, a lot of people have it early on, but as you progress, it will fade or disappear. It's unlikely, we'll say. And it did fade. But it was the weirdest thing.
From your work, I want to talk to you more because there's text going in, but we have to take a commercial break.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll take that and we'll talk to Jerry a little bit more after that.
The Ray D'Arcy Show on RTE Radio 1.
So what exactly is Kia 2020 Vision? It's exciting new cars like the Kia Exceed and award-winning EVs and PHEVs. It's the Kia Sportage now with mild hybrid technology. It's 0% finance on Stonic Sportage and Seed models. And of course, it's our unique 7-year warranty. So your new Kia will see you all the way to 2027. For more, visit kia.com. Lending criteria and terms and conditions apply.
Allora, ciao.
Cycle for the Irish Hospice Foundation this June and join me, Paul Kimmage.
And me, Evelyn Kimmage, on the Northern Italy Cycle Challenge.
Join us as you ride from Bassano to Lake Como.
Including the mighty Stelvio Pass.
To raise vital funds for Nurses for Night Care.
Register now at hospicefoundation.ie.
Kindly sponsored by Kingspan.
The Ray D'Arcy Show on RTE Radio 1 with All Care Pharmacy. Taking care of your winter coughs and colds. At All Care, your local community pharmacy. Tweet at Radio Ray RTE. The Ray D'Arcy Show on RTE Radio 1.
Because you did a lot of research to do your podcast called Strokecast, you have the stats there. Just give us the stats on strokes in Ireland.
They're quite alarming. 10,000 cases of stroke a year in Ireland. 2,000 deaths.
Wow.
1 in 5 Irish people will have a brush with stroke at some stage in their life.
Okay.
And most strokes are clots. So a blood clot will... a stroke, to define a stroke, is lack of blood to the brain. Blood carries oxygen. The brain is starved of oxygen. So parts of your brain die due to the lack of
That's
oxygen.
the time thing in fast.
That's the time
Because the less time,
Yes.
the less damage.
Now, I had a brain hemorrhage, not a clot, so my vein bled out into my brain, and it flooded my thalamus, and that's why I have the issues with my left side. So while I have in many ways come to terms with the stroke, and if I see somebody I haven't seen in a couple of years, I don't mention it, because why now? They just see me walking and talking, and I don't make a thing of it. But I still haven't got my head round the disability I have from it.
Yeah.
And I think that is the hardest part for me, or harder than other people who are getting over their stroke. It may be physically they're pretty much back to who and where they were. Fatigue is a huge issue for people with stroke. For me, it's stopping me from. Definitely at the moment, it's stopping me from trying to return to
Do you have
radio.
to sleep during the day?
I do, but my
So how
sleep,
many hours sleep then are you getting across 24 hours?
I'm probably doing probably 9.5.
Right.
I used to sleep maybe 3.5 to 4 hours during the day, and I would wake up and not particularly feel better for it, but my brain needed to shut down. Your brain is like a video camera. It's like a television set. You need to turn it off, because every time it's switched on, it's going, what's this, what's that? I need to analyze this, supposing I need to remember this. So it's putting everything it sees into little drawers in your brain.
And when you have a stroke, it's less capable of doing that processing, is that it?
Yes, I think the easiest way of telling you is, describing it is, you need a huge amount of fuel to power your television, okay? And the fuel dissipates very quickly by analysing and processing lots of things.
Great to hear Jerry on the radio, great DJ back in the day. Radio misses you. Get back on the wireless. Health and happiness to you. Best wishes to him. And my sister had severe stroke at the age of 34. She spent 11 months in hospital rehab, making a reasonable recovery, but nowhere near a complete one, says Elizabeth. And I'm so delighted to hear your guest speaker today. My husband had a stroke last summer while we were on holidays. It was an extremely frightening experience for all of us. All of the messages your guest is giving, like blood pressure checks, etc., are so important. Don't ignore them. Also, his love for his wife and worrying about her is really lovely. Nearly 10 months later, my husband is leading a normal life with a very healthy approach to exercise and diet.
Great. Yes. Well, no, I wasn't the worst on diet, but look, we all get carried along.
Yes. Well, listen, great to see you. Just let people know where they can listen to Strokecast.
So we put together these shows. The easiest way of finding them is go to Facebook and search Strokecast.
All right. Man, I keep forgetting to zip up parts of my bag. Is that better? I guess. Thank you. Do you need an onion? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got lots of apples.
aussi.
Ah oui.
Alors,
Surtout que je veux pas le dire, c'est déjà on me dit, voilà, c'est ça.
Potatoes, onions, leek. Potatoes, onions, leek. Lamb. I need some lamb. God, I haven't spoke for ages. This is going to be a boring thing. You'll just have to bear with me. Yeah. These lovely little cakes. I forgot I was recording. What else? Do they have that nice little bread? Yes, they do. White bread. Lamb. Agnio. Agnio. Oh, that's perfect. Promotion $5.50. Bonjour. Cheese. Cheese. It's small. Let's get it because it's small. Pardon? Biscuits. God, am I gonna fit all this stuff in a bag? These pistachios. Okay. I didn't get any carrots or anything. I think Flo's got carrots. Premier Kiss. Bonjour.
Yes.
Merci. Désolé.
Yes.
Et voilà. Bonne fin d'après-midi.
Merci. All right. It's annoying when the bill is 21 euros and 5 cents and you don't have any change. So you have to give 2 20s. I always find that annoying. Anyway, I think I got the basics. Now I've got to try and get back. Hopefully bring Tuco for a walk with a little bit of daylight. That guy talking about the stroke, man. What a situation to be in. I kind of see the brain has been like some kind of indestructible element of the body. You know, it's not something I think of very much. And that guy was wonderfully descriptive. He's a perfect guy doing a podcast, because it's, besides being a little terrifying, it's also very interesting, the fact that we just forget the way the brain controls everything. Like the parts of the brain that control the muscles, it stops, and that's what gives you the motor neuron disease. Look at the damage that causes just by some parts of the brain shutting down, and the guy talking had a brain hemorrhage. And so it floods things, or you don't get oxygen to the parts. Things shut down, and immediately he could feel his tongue as if it were getting bigger and bigger. And then the left side goes, and the face drops. What resonated with me as well was when he said the mind is continually, and the brain is like a computer, and it's continually doing stuff. It's calculating, it's scheming, planning. I know if I say this to Flo, she'll be I should say to her, because it's when serious meditation is actually in that respect as well. You can see how beneficial it would be to meditate every day, to actually stop the brain, to shut it down a bit. But there's so many little intricate things at work. Every time you lift your arm, or every time, even speaking, talking. And of course, when you had a stroke, the emotions, the judgments, the actual familiarity with the psychology of the person, you know, your own psychology, your own thought pattern. It must all be changed, upset by that. And how a stroke is like the brain damage. You need to get help immediately. So someone like Hubert, who was left all night, God, what must that have been like? He would have been sick. He wouldn't have been able to move. He'll have this hope, this wish, that if things get too bad like that, there is a kind of switch that's just triggered, and you go unconscious, you know. I mean, that's the hope. Hard to... You wouldn't want to think about it much if the switch isn't triggered and you're just lying there. What would you Joe. We take all these things for granted all the time. The ability I have now to go shopping, put everything in this bag, and then walk all the way home. And then the pleasure later on of eating, even if my mouth is not in the best shape at the moment still. There's still a great pleasure in just being able to eat. And walk around as normal and have a cup of tea. And to feel the familiarity with yourself and your psychic and your surroundings. You know, to feel yourself, to feel normal. And then to get tired whenever you do and to go to bed, get warm and drift off. It's easy to take it all for granted. High blood pressure and stress. You know, they say stress is the thing. It might be the reason that sometimes you get the sense that good people are the ones that get sick. Sometimes it would seem more than the people that perhaps deserve it. The evil beings, you know. The drug gangs that could cut someone to pieces, or the religious guy that could torment a child. But perhaps the reason some of the times is because bad people sometimes are not that stressed. Maybe I'm talking rubbish here, but maybe if you don't have a conscience, you also don't have the same type of stress problems as somebody that does. Stress. It's a killer. Gotta stop stressing. You could stress about anything. The stupidity of it. I'm gonna stress about this and that. They need to do what they did in that joke of mine. They discover that life's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. And then carry on being funny in my way. Even if it's absurd humor. Just have fun. Hey. You know, my girlfriend said to me, Frank? Well, let's not say Frank, let's say Wolfgang. Wolfgang, you're wasting your life. Wasting your life on things. Just playing your silly games. Typing your stupid comments. You're wasting your time. You gotta have a plan. You gotta think about the future. what she was gonna do. What she was gonna do. Because it's very important to have a plan. It's very important to have something to do. I have to pause for a second. I was saying all of this and doing the routine, and I stopped and I thought I should be recording this. It'd be good if I had my dictaphone. I could record this, because this is good practice for later on. Completely forgot that, well, I am recording it. I'm recording everything. So anyway, let's get back to that. This is going to be a video. So she said, you gotta have a routine. Gotta have a plan. You're wasting your life with your stupid games and your stupid typing comments. Gotta give your life some kind of meaning. What a shame it is to waste a mind or a brain. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. But I said, I thought about it and I thought about it. And I looked at some statistics. There is a country near my heart. In that country, 10,000 people a year have strokes. And the main component of strokes is clots. And the main component of these heart attacks, perhaps strokes and maybe even other things, is stress related. Because the brain is overstimulated. There is too much shit going on in the brain. It's like having a computer and running 20 fucking games at the one time. Every fucking day. That's what it is with me. Overstimulated. So I said, I do have a plan, my dear. My plan is self-preservation. And in order for that plan to work, I have to shut down every goddamn system that I don't just need. Every system that I don't just need. And what I'm left with is just the bare functioning. Day to day. One day at a time. And that's what I'm gonna do. No worrying about nothing else. No plans, no future. No job, nothing. If you don't get the job, you don't pay your mortgage. You're gonna end up on the street. Big deal. Going to end up on the street. There are worse things. At least on the street you can have a beer. You don't have to get up early in the morning. Not like me. I gotta get up early in the morning. Living on the street. You can have a beer. Don't have to get up early in the morning. You can do some drugs. There are worse things in life than being on the street. I tell you that. Worse things, like a stroke, caused by stress. You can have a beer. Sleep on in the morning. You get cold, smash a window, go to jail. Look after you. Stress related. So I came to her with the statistics. I said, my God, my dear, do you know how many people have been taking LH here because stress-related diseases? Now it is a scientific fact that these diseases are connected to stress. Everybody tells you stress, high blood pressure. Jesus, it leads to a whole cacophony of things. And I said, I gotta be careful. And me, I said, you know what I need to do? My God, I need to start shutting down systems. Because my brain never stops going. I'm making plans, scheming, fucking stressed over everything, worrying about every goddamn thing. I need to shut all that shit down quickly. I'm not gonna make it to 60. I'm not gonna make it to the end of the decade. So I don't worry about my objectives anymore. I don't worry about my meaning on this planet. And I don't worry about the global extinction coming. And I don't Jesus coming. And I don't worry about Trump being reelected. And I don't worry about who the fuck shot Kennedy. No, I'm switching all that off. Because I'm one day at a time. And I'm now enjoying the fucking hell out of everything. It is so fucking good. Yeah. So maybe I don't meet my mortgage payments. Maybe I end up on the street. Well, I tell you, there are worse things than ending up on the fucking street. Like a stroke. Excellent. Now that has me wired. That's what I love, a little bit of creative. That's the perfect thing, a little bit of creativity. And I want to make it kind of absurd, but there's a meaning in it. There's a point to it. It's not just idle nonsense. I want someone to listen to it and go, man, that's crazy. And then after a while go, yeah, it's crazy, but it's not all false. There's actually something in there. He's right. There are worse things than living on the street. There are worse things than living on the goddamn street. I tell you that. MND. A stroke. Motor neuron disease. Or MND. I don't want to get too fucking sad about it. That's too personal. I just say stroke. Hello, little fella. How are you? Speaking of barking dogs, I gotta bring mine for a walk. I'm losing the daylight. A good question to ask now is, if I had just stayed at home, would I have had this pretty wonderful transformation? That's what I mean about a good walk. Something always kind of picks up, you know. It is possible I may have heard the radio. I mean, to be honest, listening to the radio and listening to that man talk, he sounded fantastic as well. If I was able to, I would have sent a text and saying, my God, you sound fantastic. Obviously, I don't know how you feel, but with the voice and energy that you're displaying now, you could do any radio show. But that's the trigger for making me feel better. And I've been down this road of thought before about how we don't always know the good we do. That man has done me a lot of good. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. By just making me appreciate the good state I'm in, you know. And that appreciation and the talk of stress has given me a sketch to try and do with another character. Maybe a character with a cigar. My wife said to me that I am too lazy. That I am an unreligious, faithless goon. She said, you gotta get yourself together. Find something to do, find meaning. Get yourself a proper job. Get yourself something with meaning. Such a waste, she said, a waste of a mind. Gotta get out there. Worry about the future. It's not going to take care of itself. Who's going to pay the bills? Yeah, she told me all those things. The meaning of life. The meaning of life. She says all I do is I play stupid games. I tap stupid comments on the stupid YouTube. I fuck around with all these stupid gadgets that I buy. A waste. She says, it's childish. I ain't taking my responsibilities seriously. And there are things to do, places to see. And I have responsibilities, bills to pay. Why the hell would we want to stay in a small place like this? It is my responsibility to get out a bigger car and a goddamn bigger house. I thought about it all, what she said. Thought about it all. But then I heard myself a story about a guy who had a stroke. First of all, his thumb, first thing he felt, his tongue got bigger and bigger and bigger in his mouth. Till he felt like he was continually biting it. Then he lost the use in his arm on one side and his face dropped. And he couldn't talk. And he says sometimes the reason for these things, well, it's clots, it's a lack of oxygen to the brain. You get other diseases, but they say somewhere down the line the reason for all of these things, it's a scientific fact apparently, is stress. Stress. And they say, do you know the amount of energy the brain uses up in an average day? I thought of my brain and all the shit I think about, and I thought, my God, it's like having your computer turned on and playing about playing about 10 different games at the same time. Running them at the same time every fucking day. And I thought to myself, my God, stress. Why, it's the killer of mankind. Distress. And I thought, I gotta shut down all these systems. That's the answer. It's the opposite of what she said. You don't want to go making more plans. You gotta stop the plans you have. Shut all the shit down. shut it down. So what about your mortgage? What about your bills? What about your kids? What about you end up on the streets? Well, so what? There are worse things than the streets. At least if you end up on the street, you can have a beer. Sleep on in the next, sleep on in the morning. Have some drugs. You know, there are worse things than ending up on the streets. Like a fucking stroke. Gotta relax. There is an art to relaxation, folks. There's an art to it. It's an aesthetic phenomenon. And to really relax is the most difficult thing known to humankind in this day and age. I say, put all your focus on relaxation. Switch off all that crap in the head and the mind and the brain. Shut it all down. Shut it all down. Let Jesus Christ come into you. Let him work it. You don't have to. You have faith in Jesus Christ. Let him work all the other stuff. You do nothing. Maybe it's God's will that I don't pay the fucking mortgage and I don't pay the bills and I don't worry about the goddamn environment and extinction or viruses. Maybe that's God's will too. Shit, this is getting a bit. I just want it simple. I bring in God into it, it gives it another kind of thing. It is said in the book that a man has to tile on his belly. Well, maybe God's will is different for us all. God's will for me is that I do nothing. I do as little as possible. And I know that's what he's saying to me. I hear his voice. And when I do nothing, when I stay in bed all day, I can feel the calmness of his Holy Spirit in me. So I know that for me, he's saying, yeah, do nothing. Maybe a bit much. I tell you, this walk for the first time, I genuinely am forgetting that I'm recording. There's big chunks of this walk where I really have just been being my totally normal self without any thought of the mic there. That's good. But somewhere or other on this tape I've got some semblance of a character. When I get home I may get the other dictaphone and very quickly do just a very quick scene. Just 2 minutes. And I could spend the night working on that, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know what time it is. I guess I could make a guess that it's pretty close to 6 o'clock. Pretty close to 6. By the way, the light's fading. The sun is well and truly gone down behind the Vox or Villeneuve. I don't know which one is the one on the left and the right. And now it's just the twilight fading. It's a short day because I stayed in bed till about, well, I don't know, I get up at 12:30, 1 o'clock. I want to get out of bed. I'm glad I did. I mean, there's nothing much that interests me in the morning. I have no routine. I'm just too lazy. And I've got no passion for doing anything. The idea of getting up early and doing some exercise and stuff, just couldn't do it. But I'm so glad that the one thing has stuck with me all through life is this unhindered and unchanging desire to go for a long walk. I guess it's been there, not totally since the beginning. The talking to myself has been there in the beginning, but going for long walks, I wouldn't have done that as a kid. But it's been around a long time, anyway. And I really believe that this kind of a walk, it's a good 45 minutes in and 45 minutes back. It's a great healthy regime for the day. Because there's some exercise, and most importantly as well, I think there's plenty of fresh air. I start to think highly of fresh air as I get older. And then there is what I call that kind of mysterious healing that goes on, that you don't have to be conscious of, but it happens anyway. And can be like today, recharging of the batteries, and also, if you're lucky, you can come up with an idea for something to keep you occupied for the evening. See, that would be a great routine if I went for a walk every day. And when I got back, I always had a new 3 or 4 minute sketch to do, to record. And I knew what the thing was. Like now I know it's a very simple kind of, there's a setup and a payoff, if you like. So the idea is just very simply to say, maybe people shouldn't stress too much, maybe we shouldn't worry about everything too much. And if you think like me today, or if you hear the story of the man that had the stroke, you may appreciate the simple things, and the fact that you can do all these simple things that you never think of, like making a cup of tea and drinking it, or making a coffee and drinking it, or just sitting back and looking at a Netflix thing, eating popcorn or something. There is deeper and deeper levels of enjoyment to be had in the day-to-day tasks. I think that's where the key to a positive outlook, or the key to the healing process can lie. You get rid of all the high aims and ambitions. I got a jogger coming in the dark. I'm speaking in English. I didn't go back to French. Weird. It's the first time I said hi to anybody here in about 10 years. not be worrying about the fact you don't have subscribers, or that you're not doing whatever with your life, or whatever it is. You know that your ambitions are not being met. How will you be remembered? And concentrate on the simpler things. Maybe when you end up totally kind of chilled out and relaxed, that the other parts come. What I was saying is, it wouldn't be great to do a walk like this every day. Always come up with a good idea, and then go home and have the evening to figure out how to do the thing and upload it all from the computer room. Imagine if I was doing that and I was earning a living by it. But each video was commanding a couple of thousand, let's say 2,000 or 1,000. So I just really needed to have, well, whatever, 4 or 5 videos a month to be successful. What a life that would be. It'd be just the routine. That'd be very Schopenhauerish. I walk every afternoon at the same time. I come home every afternoon at the same time, and I walk the dog at the same time. I receive an idea for a new video on that walk, pretty much in the same place, and I put it together. Everything about this routine is enjoyable. I love it. I love getting up, I love looking forward to the walk, I love having something, I love getting to where I'm going and having a pain chocolat, I like coming back. I like walking the dog, and after that I love nothing better than settling in for an evening of putting together this video that I've got the skeleton of it, if you like. We're being told we have to do all this stuff. We're all too stressed, we need to relax. That's it, really. But I'm gonna do it maybe as some kind of cowboyish Texan. I may put some makeup on. I recorded with that. Good lights. Do that. Record it. How you doing? Listen, there's something too important, something too... It's something to tell you guys. It's a little bit of spiritual advice. My wife just came in here and proceeded to calm you. That she thinks where's the key? I am looking for the key. I got it right. Here we go. Is that the key for the door? I'm gonna get this. I gotta get this boy out quick for a walk. We are running out of daylight. We are running out of daylight fast. Fast. Hello, little fella. You didn't think I'd be back that quick, did you? Oh. Shall we go for a quick walk? Huh? Yeah, baby. Quick walk. Let me bring this. 2 biscuits. Fuck. Got all this. Yeah! Let's go. Let's go, little fella. I'm still taping. Let's go. We got a few minutes left. Could have left the house keys. Keep touching the pocket, and behind the pocket is the Lenny. And so I hope I'm not turning it on accidentally. Whatever. All right. Allez, Tuco. Allez, little fella. Let's go. Let's go to the field, huh? Tuco. Allez, this way. Let's go this way. Let's go this way. Yeah, I'm gonna get a bit mucky, I think. Even going through the field in front of the house. Ooh, that microphone's very close to the... Shit. It's very close to my mouth. Just moved it down a bit. Allez, Tuco! Allez! Allez! Good boy. You don't have to keep eating my feet. Good boy. Allez! Perhaps you want to, go to the loo or something? You want to follow me this time? This way. Sometimes he cuts across the field on his own. Allez! Yeah, it must definitely be after 6 now. I can still see, but just so maybe 5-10 minutes left. That's what I was going to say earlier on. When you get up late like that, it's a quick kind of day, although it just means I'll probably stay up late tonight if I can find something to grab my attention, because I did sleep quite a long time. And I went to bed with Flo the last 2 nights. I was in bed by about half 12. I didn't sleep till later on, but still. So I may just I'd like to find a Netflix thing to get into. God, I really enjoy that Frank Sinatra thing. I don't know if you got a mind like mine that won't shut up. That it is nice occasionally to just binge watch something, because there's various switches and dials in the brain just turn off. And you just sit back and relax. It's a really nice feeling. Not something I experience all the time anymore, because I mean, even with the amount of stuff on YouTube, it's very hard sometimes to find anything. If you don't have that search, because you're not looking for anything specifically, so it's not like you're typing in the name of something. And if you're just surfing, as they say, where you could spend the whole night just surfing from one rubbish video to another one. Whereas the Netflix, if you find something and it keeps your interest, and I found, I'll let you go this way. This way. I just got to the bottom of the field, directly down from our house, and I'm going across the top of the farmer, friend of Flo, is his field. He's got something planted here. Can't remember his name. But yeah, I found something good. Like the Sinatra thing was great. It just kept me enthralled for, I don't know how long the thing was, 6, 7, maybe 5, 6 hours. And then before that I found another long documentary about the so-called serial killer guy. I can't remember his name. Henry something. And that was really interesting. It went on for quite a while. It was really an in-depth, wonderfully structured documentary. You know, they showed you at the beginning, and the guy was caught and he was confessing to all these crimes with the police, which were the Texan kind of state troopers or something. These guys who had a great tradition of being the best sheriffs in the old days. And it went on like that, and so you're thinking, now this is a straightforward thing about this guy being caught, he's done all this, so it's amazing. And then very slowly it started to bring in the little bits of doubts and stuff that crept into all these confessions. But it was done really skillfully. You want to go back? Want to go back, little fella? Yeah, me too. It's getting too dark. Now we're turned around. We got as far as the tree. And if Tuco wants to do any caca, he has every opportunity if the need comes. We're walking back toward the Vox Villeneuve, so I'm kind of walking back toward the last vestiges of daylight over the two little villages. And the little orange lights are starting to grow in intensity, as are the car lights. As we lose the daylight, but it's still, I mean, it's not, probably not even 6:30 yet. It's still got a long part of the day left. Just had a thought about the summer. If this was the summer, it's hard to. This way, Tuco. I'm going to go back the way we came, yeah? Allez! Allez! What? Allez! Come on, Tuco. Don't be looking at me like that. Good boy. I can tell sometimes he wants to go his own way. I'm going back through the field and back, kind of directly back to our house, and he wanted to go down the road. But thinking about the summer, if this was the summer at this time of the day, it's okay, Tuco. It's just a thing. I'm trying to figure out where the sun would be, because with the summer the clocks will go forward, back, I don't know, back. The sun will be high in the sky at this time. It's hard to imagine. Well, this was very well timed anyway, I have to say that. Because I can still see a little bit. We're heading back. Tuco's been out and about. If he needed to poo, he had his chance. He's going to be with me for the evening. guys want to interview me for? What do you guys want to interview me for? What the fuck do you think I know about anything? Who told you I have any answers to any fucking thing? Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's my wife, isn't it? That's what. That's what she was saying about my lack of taking my responsibility for things. Yeah, I understand that. Of course she's right. She says that I don't take my proper share of the responsibilities for earning the money to pay the mortgage and the bills. She says, why the hell are we still living in this small goddamn house when all her friends have a bigger house? And she's saying about the fact that we have the same car for nearly 10 years. Unheard of in this vicinity. Well, as she's telling me all this stuff, she's complaining that, I do nothing. I just play my stupid games on the computer, and then I type my stupid comments on the computer. But I'm like a child, wasting my life, not aiming for development, not getting out there, fulfilling my potential, leaving my mark, so that when I'm gone, perhaps there will be a book or a show or something to remind people of just how great I was. Well, I heard all this, and I tell you, I thought about it, and I was thinking about it some more. Then on the radio, I heard a story about this man had a stroke. A stroke. Good boy! You want to go back? Shit, did Flo feed you? We don't know if you've been fed. Kind of assume you haven't been fed. Man, I am full of fucking muck. I am full of muck. Really full of muck. I guess it's dinner time, huh? She'd have told me if she fed you, wouldn't she? She left. And when she left, it was too early. There is no way she'd have fed him. I gotta sit on the step this time. I cannot go anywhere inside with these, because they are full of muck. Yes, sirree. They really are. Ouch. Oh, Good boy. I moved my mouth the wrong way. Man, I can feel it. I've got to keep the left side pretty still. That's where the stitches and everything are. Where's my... Ah, there they are. So, Tuco. What time is it? I think it's dinner time for Tuco. It's dinner time for Tuco. And I think I'm going to end this transmission. Yeah. I'm going to end this beautiful transmission. It was 1 hour and 21 minutes. And we're going to go for 30 seconds. Adios.